Good evening, gamers. Welcome to another episode of What I'm Playing Now. We are on episode 8. We are just cruising through to 10. Trying to get to double digits already.
Not if we freeze to death first.
Yeah. This is just this where we live, people. It is fucking cold.
Yeah, we're coming live to you from fucking Antarctica right now.
Jesus, it's like supposed to get to be negative 18 out here. They're saying already the wind chill's almost minus 40 around here.
It's I just checked the weather. I've got NextRad up right now. It's minus 40 outside here.
We took our dogs out. My wife put a shirt and a sweater on the one dog, and then a sweater on the other, and then the one dog, his paws were getting cold when I took him out earlier, so we got socks, and I actually used Velcro cable ties, and put the socks around his paws and Velcroed the socks onto his paws.
Oh my god, dude!
You know what? It actually worked. It actually worked because he was running around and he wasn't lifting up his paws, limping like he was earlier today. So it actually worked. One of the girls I work with gave me that tip. So I was just like, I texted her back. I go, that worked. I go, that was fucking awesome. So
way to get some tips from a coworker to save your dog in the winter.
Hey, and you know what? It was. We picked up boots for a previous dog we had, and they just wouldn't even stay on him. Even though we got smalls, they would just flop off.
Oh wow!
So that's why a sock, just a nice booty sock, that only goes up to like your ankle with just that Velcro cable tie worked perfect around his little paws. It's kind of funny. So enough dog talk for now. Although we've been playing with the dog a lot this week. Hit us up, whatimplayingnow@gmail.com. That is our email address. On Twitter, we can be followed at What I'm Playing Now. Drop the G. On Facebook, we are What I'm Playing Now, and we are jumping right into news stories.
No, we're not.
Okay, we're not.
We're done.
I need to go warm up. Actually, I need somebody maybe if somebody DDoSed us, maybe we get a little warmer.
Ooh.
So Steam was DDoSed.
Good segue, Joe.
Steam was DDoSed over the weekend. I think during their last day of sales. I actually picked up several games from the sales this week, both from them and Humble Bundle.
While you were DDoSing them.
Well, I was DDoSing everybody and just fucking. I'm like DDoSing this person, DDoSing that person. So, yeah, they were DDoSed. It was, I guess, their store was kind of hard to get for a while. I think we talked about last week. Their store was really hard to get to when they put Left 4 Dead Free up there for Christmas, which was completely insane. I hadn't been on Steam that much this week, especially during the last couple of days of the sale, so I really didn't notice it too much. I don't know if you were playing any Steam games this week.
Nope,
I'm pretty much.
Did you know what I was playing this week?
Hang on a second, let me see. I'm guessing no, you were not, because you were on your fucking Vita playing Persona 4 Golden, which we'll get to later. But that's a whole nother section of the podcast. So, people, don't DDoS Steam, man. That's kind of weak. People are just trying to play games on there, have some fun. That is just really fucking lame if you're doing shit like that. You know.
Now we're going to get DDoSed. Thanks,
Script
Joe.
Kitties, go do something else. So, if they DDoS our website, that's under control of Squarespace, and Squarespace has had their own problems with DDoS for the past couple of weeks, so I think they're getting kind of used to it. It must be
Welcome home.
2014, the year of DDoSing, so.
Ooh, I like that.
Crazy.
The year of the DDoS, the low orbit ion cannon.
So, we're going to jump over to Vegas, where it's probably fucking nice and warm. Hell of a lot warmer than where we are now.
Them sons of bitches.
I love Vegas, man. Vegas rocks.
I've never been there, dude.
Dude, it's awesome. It's awesome. The wife and I went there for our honeymoon. Spectacular. We've been there actually more times than any place else, and I don't know why. My brother we went there for our honeymoon. My brother got married there. I was there for work last year. For some reason, the wife and I just keep ending up back in fucking Vegas.
Maybe you should just move there. I mean, that's.
I don't know if I could live there.
Yeah, I heard it's a different.
Crazy.
I heard it's a different.
Yeah,
it's
never been definitely.
There, but, yeah. So
it's definitely different, and so I don't know about that. But out in Vegas right now, CES is going on, so there is just a hell of a lot of stuff going on. Some of it game related. One of the stories that I wanted to point out to people was, I think NVIDIA had their press conference from what I saw on my Twitter feed last night. They had their press conference last night, like 9 p.m. Eastern time. It was fucking something ridiculous. It might have even been later. I know I was sitting around just flipping through Twitter before I was going to sleep, and it was like, fucking NVIDIA's, thing starts at like 20 minutes, and I'm like, fucking starts 20 minutes? I'm crawling into fucking bed. I'm like, what fuck? I'm like, I know they're 3 hours behind us, but I was like, Jesus Christ, what fucking time are they starting?
That's when I think it was. That's when you should have called them, like, listen, my name's Joe Luzzi, all right? You went way too late here.
I think it was about 10 o'clock our time, so it was probably about 7 o'clock their time, so probably not too bad.
Yeah, balls all that. I was sleeping by then, man.
But it was one of the things that NVIDIA has a couple of cool things that I think are really going to make some gaming things interesting here. So they have a new chip coming out, the K1 chip. This is going to be a system-on-a-chip, and it sounds like this thing's going to fucking rock. From what little bit I've read about it, and I'm going to be reading about it more, so maybe we'll talk about it more in the upcoming weeks as we get some more information in on it. It sounds like it's going to be a really, really powerful, basically CPU for mobile. They're going to have 2 different flavors of it, but it sounds like it's going to be able to run the Unreal engine, the Unreal 4 engine, which for a mobile chip is fucking insane as far as I'm concerned. You had mentioned one thing before the podcast, which we can bring up, heat-wise. I mean, is this thing going to melt a tablet or a phone you hold up to your nose?
I guarantee you will. I guarantee it will. Because what's going to happen is somebody's going to try to put this into a really chintzy chassis.
Yeah.
And it's just going to fucking melt in your hands.
So who knows? Maybe they're going to come out with some thin fans that can go on top of these things.
Oh my God! Can you imagine?
They're going to come out with liquid cooling for tablets, which I'm sure probably somebody already has. So that was.
I've got it on I've got it on my Galaxy Tab too.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody already has that. But
I was playing Frozen so much, I was playing Frozen and the tablet wasn't frozen, so I had to freeze the bitch. That's what I did.
That game was probably what was keeping it cool. But it basically has DX11 support, OpenGL 4.4, CUDA 6.0, and they're saying that the graphics are going to be fucking similar to an Xbox 360 or PS3, possibly even a little better. Well, on a mobile device. That sounds sick.
Right, but I would hope it would be a little better than the 360. I mean, you're comparing that to aged hardware now. Even though it's on a mobile device.
True.
You're still comparing that to aged hardware. We know what that standard is. We're expecting that standard. Let's take it up a notch. I mean, if you're going to go balls to the wall with this processor like you are now, you might as well just, push it the full 9.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'd like to see something a little better, but I would like to get my hands on this. I would be really interested to see how our tablet design is going to change because of processors like this, because physically speaking, they're probably not going to hold up to the heat.
Yeah, that'll be something that's going to be really interesting to see how they can actually keep this cool, and just what this thing can all do. I mean, that's when you're looking at one of the graphs they have here is like they have the GeForce Titan, which is like their huge monster of $1,000 CPU card, and its power consumes 250 watts. They're saying the Tegra K1 Kepler graphics is less than 2 watts.
Wow.
So they may have come out with something that is just super efficient power-wise to be able to pump out that much power, which if they did, they fucking rock.
Right, and then next year we're going to find out that one CPU kills 10 monkeys. And then Pete is going to get pissed.
So we're going to keep an eye on the K1 chip, and we'll probably talk about it some more in the future. Who knows? We may even talk about that on the Linux show, because that may be something that may be interesting for that show even.
Oh, yeah, if it's supporting OpenGL, man, somebody's going to be cranking something out on that.
Oh, definitely.
And so, can you imagine, just for 1 second, can you imagine, and I don't know probably what the state of things now, I don't imagine this being very efficient, but it would be interesting to see if somebody could create a Bitcoin farm with tablets using this processor.
You know, I don't see why they couldn't. I mean, truthfully, I don't see why they couldn't. I mean, but Bitcoins take so long to mine right now. You'd probably want to do like the doggy coins or whatever they are.
Well, that's
Doge
what I was.
Coins.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Was because at this point right now, you know, mathematically speaking, it's so hard to actually create Bitcoins anymore.
Yeah.
That, you know, you're just in the process of moving them, you know, from hand to hand. So yeah, I don't. But it would be interesting.
Yeah, I've always wanted to get into that, to try one of those things, and I wish I would have gotten into the Bitcoins when I had first heard about them over a year ago. And I just never played around with it.
Well, you know, we'd be rich, and then the CIA and FBI would be knocking on our front doors.
Probably they'd be coming in, taking my doggy coins. My doggy. So the other thing that NVIDIA announced, they have their G-Sync integrated monitors coming out in Q2 of 2014. And so what the G-Syncs are supposed to do is they are supposed to, from the Polygon article, I will just quote, remove latency and image stuttering caused by playing with vertical sync by playing with vertical synchronization, VSync on, and screen tearing caused by playing with VSync off. Basically, where the GPU usually syncs with the monitor, with G-Sync the display only refreshes after the GPU has finished rendering a frame, avoiding the screen tearing, stuttering, and input lag. So what it sounds like is these monitors have a module on them, from what I'm getting out of this, that is basically going to work with your NVIDIA card to where they are basically in the same sync the whole time. So you don't have to force a refresh rate. They're always going to be refreshing on the same page, so there's going to be no tearing or stuttering or anything like that, which would be kind of interesting why it's taken so long for somebody to come out with something like this. Considering this problem has been around in graphics for, just a few years, I'd say.
Just a few years. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big. I'll just say it right now. I'm not a big NVIDIA fan. I've always been, you know, AMD, ATI, that kind of thing.
We'll forgive you for that. That's okay.
Well, I mean, you know, it's only the graphics that are featured in, you know, the PS4 and you know,
and the Xbox One.
Yeah, exactly. So
and I know you can do, what is it, the Trace FX? You guys, you can get real
Trace FX.
You can get real hair rendering. I mean, Tomb Raider, her hair looks real.
It looks amazing. Now the culling on that though, that's different. It's not very accurate, but you can make Lara Croft look like a sexy bitch as if she already isn't one. So anyways, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just always I feel warm and fuzzy with the AMD stuff. This stuff, the G-Sync looks interesting to me, only because I'd be interested from a technical standpoint to see what it was they did to circumvent the VSync problem.
Right.
You know, because it's always something. I mean, I remember writing games when I still run into it occasionally when I write, you know, hobby games and stuff. Just, you know, VSync can be a bitch sometimes, and if it's not catered to properly, you're tanking your CPU at 100%. You know what I mean? And then even with newer games, if you enable VSync with a bunch of other stuff, it'll tank your CPU too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd be interested to see what they did to fix it, or, you know, supposedly fix it.
Yeah, it sounds like you need to have one of these monitors. I'm gonna have to read up a little bit more about it. It sounds like you can use it. It's something you can use with your current monitor, because it says the G-Sync module can be built into a monitor or installed onto an existing display. But I thought I had heard something when this was announced originally that it had to be installed on the monitor. It wasn't something you could add on. So I'm gonna have to look into this. I don't know if Polygon got that right, or if that's something new that's come out since when I had originally heard about these from some other podcasts.
How the hell would you do that? How the hell would you do that without actually disassembling the monitor?
No
I mean,
fucking clue.
Unless you're me, you know, I've taken shit. I used to work for Dell, you know, repairing TVs and monitors. I know how those things, you know, get torn apart and where to put shit at. But I mean, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go to, like, I don't know, Micro Center and buy a G-Sync kit for some random monitor?
I don't know. That's the thing. We're gonna have to wait and see what it happens. It sounds like NVIDIA, from the article, NVIDIA had sent out modules to professional monitors late last year to install them. into some Asus monitors per this Polygon article. So that's something, like I said, we're probably going to have to look into a little bit more about that.
Well, they're probably sending. Well, they're probably sending them to OEMs. They're not going to send them to Micro Center for me and you to put into them.
Although I'd give it a shot. What the hell?
Oh yeah, with soldering down a board to your logic board going to help.
No problem. We got it covered.
We got this. I play with Arduino.
My dad's got a TV repair kit. I could do anything.
I got some copper cables.
He's got the ultimate set of fucking tools.
A man's arms are his tools, Joe.
All right, Steam Machine. We are talking about the Steam Machine once again. The first Steam Machine to debut this month for $18.99. 12 more Steam Machine developers are confirmed. Digital Storm is releasing the first dedicated Steam Machine later this month for about $1,899 US.
Yep.
Which it does sound high, but Digital Storm computers are usually, some of their stuff is higher end usually.
I like how you say that so lackadaisical, like Digital Storm's just no BFD. Their stuff's high end. Whatever.
I mean, if you look at a lot of their cases and a lot of their builds, I mean, they're one of the boutique players, and from what I've seen,
absolutely. Oh, absolutely. I thought this one was interesting. I think they're being a little cagey with the specs, even though, you could just go get specs for a Steam box anywhere, but this is clearly above and beyond what a Steam box was spec'd at.
Oh, definitely. This is like, there's the recommended Steam box, and then there's the, if you want to fucking just blow things away Steam box, this is what we're going to tell you to put in there.
If you want to turn this on and blow the breaker in your house. I was looking at this earlier. I'm actually not really impressed with the way the case looks for this one. I actually think it's kind of ugly. And I don't know. I'm just one of those weird people that when I build PCs, I want them to look like appliances, not these ridiculous sore thumbs that stick out. So when you walk into a house, you're like, oh, that's clearly your PC. It looks like a fucking Christmas tree. I want it to look like something that just integrates nicely into a shelf. Clean.
You've never seen my PC then.
No, well, mine lights up pretty well, but it's not obnoxious.
Mine's a full tower.
Full ATX.
It's when I got this thing delivered to work, the people at work were looking at me like, "Did you order a fucking refrigerator?" I'm like, "No, that's my computer case."
Oh,
seriously,
no.
Several people walked down the aisle like, "What the fuck is that? Did you order a refrigerator?" I'm like, "Oh, it's my computer case. I'm building a PC." They're like, "What the fuck are you building?" I was like, "I'm building a PC."
You got a full ATX and then buy like a mini ATX board.
It's a nice case. It's a Thermaltake case. It's a Zazar. It's older now because it's about 3 years old.
Yeah, I remember those.
But back then there really wasn't anything cool that I just really liked. This was like the nicest thing. I mean, a lot of the other cases I was looking at the time just really didn't. I just didn't like the look of them.
Right. I usually go for Cooler Master or Leon Lee cases are actually really nice.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Those are you pay for those though.
Oh yeah, yep.
Especially in the full towers are. I was trying to spec out my machine, and I was like, I don't think I could afford a full tower Leon Lee case. So
when I used to do contract, like traveling around contracting work, I would spec out builds for people because I had some people that were wanting gaming builds, and I would spec them out, build them for them, and I sold quite a few Leon Lee cases, and they were $250, $300 a piece.
They're definitely worth the money. They're definitely outstanding cases if you can afford them.
Yep.
If you could work that into your build price, fucking I'd get one at the drop of a dime as well.
Oh yeah, and they're gorgeous too. They're not. I mean, some of them are the obnoxious, typical, stereotypical alien shit. But
it's kind of what mine looks like.
That's so obnoxious, dude. Why you building shit like that?
Cause I was just. When I built a computer, I was like, I'm fucking going balls to the wall with everything, and I pretty much did. I mean,
what are you trying to do? You trying to build the Starship Enterprise control room, or?
no, I just wanted a computer that would just last, and it would be very easy to upgrade. I mean, so I got like a really, really nice kilowatt power supply. I mean, just everything in here can basically be upgraded, or I can pull the motherboard out and throw it in maybe like a mid-tower case for the wife or something like that once I'm done with it. I haven't even really started overclocking this thing, and truthfully, the CPU on this thing is usually never goes over 50% when I'm playing a game, if that.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, when NVIDIA puts out the new graphics cards this year, I'll probably get an 800 series graphics card. I'd like to get one of those because I only have like a 560 Ti right now. So it's time for me to upgrade the graphics card. But I got 12 gigs of RAM in it, and I feel that the processor just is not being pushed enough to where I really need to upgrade it yet. It's probably getting close.
Right.
You know, in the next maybe year or two. But right now, there is nothing that's really killing the CPU on this thing. And I've loaded up multiple virtual machines and had games running, and that basically is just consuming all my memory.
Right, and that's the thing a lot of people don't realize. I know we're getting off on a tangent here, but that's the thing.
We're good.
You know,
big tangent.
That's the thing a lot of people don't realize when they build PCs is that 98%. Well, I wouldn't say 98%. I'd say 90% of the work that gets done in your PC is going to get choked off into your RAM.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily going to choke your processor, but by the same token, if you have a shit processor or the bus on your motherboard is not wide enough to or it's not decent enough to handle that traffic, your processor is going to become your bottleneck at some
definitely.
point. So I've got the one PC I have here is a Phenom 2 Black dual core.
Mm-hmm.
And I have another one that has hexa-core, but that never gets taxed, ever.
Right, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. The CPUs nowadays are so powerful. Once they started coming out with some of the quad-core stuff, there's just so much room in there for these things to just power things. It's, like I said, probably in the next year or two, it's probably going to start getting a little long in the tooth, and some of the games coming out are probably going to push it. Right. But as long as I have a decent video card, I think, behind it, I could probably still get some more life out of it. So I don't even really want to touch the motherboard or CPU or memory yet.
Yeah, I mean, that Phenom 2 I've had for a little over 3.5 years now, and it's perfect. I love it. And it's not even overclocked either. I could.
And I was just going to say, the motherboard I got's a pretty good motherboard, and I got the Core i7-930. I could easily overclock this thing because I have a huge CPU fan on this thing that was not cheap as well. So I know I have the cooling for it to overclock. I mean, I basically built this thing to be ready to overclock. So once I start feeling that I need that extra power, I can basically flip it on. I just haven't felt the need yet. So let's get into another story because we got games to talk about still besides story.
Oh, yeah. And not just PC shit.
Yeah. Although we do PC gaming.
Oh, dude.
Every now and then. although you haven't touched yours since you got the Vita, so your PC's probably like, he doesn't like me anymore. What the hell, man?
Dude, Resident Evil 6 hours are feeling it because 120 hours of Resident Evil 6 just isn't enough. I got to shoot for 200.
You're not top of my papers, please hours.
Jesus Christ.
Next story. Metal Gear Solid. I can't even talk off. I can talk now. Metal Gear Solid 5 gets rare sexual violence ratings description.
Yeah. Ooh.
That sounds fucking intense.
Well,
I love the video that they're showing here on Kotaku.
Yeah.
I mean, this just looks fucking insane.
Yep. So the basic premise here is there is a character in Metal Gear Solid 5. I'm assuming she's a helper character. She is a female sniper. She's very scantily dressed for some reason. Whatever. Apparently there are some scenes in this game where she gets tortured quite sadistically. And it's very, very graphic.
It looks
Yeah, and what we're seeing on what you see on that Kotaku article, that GIF there, it's just scraping the tip of the iceberg from what I've been told. So, MGS5 is getting a sexual violence rating from the ESRB, which, interestingly enough, is the first game to get it since 2006.
Yeah, it sounds like it's still getting an M rating.
Mm-hmm.
But
that
descriptor is one of the few times, only the second time it's been used.
Right, and it's also interesting to note, too, that Australia typically outright bans games that have that on there. They'll let mature games they'll let mature games into the country, but depending on what grade they get from the ESRB, if they will just outright ban them. MGS5 Australians, you guys aren't getting it. Just hands down, you're not getting it.
Was it Grand Theft Auto 5 where they actually had, or no, it was Saints Row 4, I think, where they actually had a scene removed.
Yeah.
From the game before it went to Australia, I think it was. Yeah, yep. It was Saints Row 4.
Yep.
So yeah, for Australia they actually had a scene removed, which is, hey, whatever you want to do. I mean, I'm kind of glad our stuff doesn't get done like that here.
Right.
But at least this doesn't force the AO rating on the game, because I have a feeling if it went AO, there aren't too many AO games out there. So
no,
I don't think too many people would let that happen. So.
Yeah, I mean, you get into a sketchy area with this kind of stuff because you start impeding on the ground of, are video games a form of art? Does this impede on an art form and that kind of thing? And at this point, I really think the argument's moot. Video games are an art form.
Oh, definitely.
It's an art medium. The second we started investing billions of dollars into a video game production like you do with a movie production, or even before that, video games are always an expression of the creator or group thereof. It is an art form. So ratings like this are by nature restrictive of that art form. But then, the sexual violence rating, do you want your kids seeing that? Probably not.
Yeah. And this is where parents need to step in and be like, does little Johnny really need to see this?
Mm-hmm.
It's completely up to you, but I would probably say no.
Oh, no, my nieces and nephews would never, ever see this in a million years. At least not until they were old enough to. But by then, Metal Gear Solid 5 is going to be, like the Atari 2600 version of Pac-Man to them. So, and the point's moved.
These graphics look like shit. I don't want to play this.
You played that, Uncle Greg? What the fuck's wrong with you? So yeah, at least
their graphics look like people, where ours just look like blocked blobs on the screen.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, I liked it and I grew up with it, so I'm completely fine with it.
Yeah, and the other interesting point I wanted to bring out with that story was I was reading the Kotaku Twitter feed, and some genius on there, he replied to Kotaku on that. And if you're a Metal Gear Solid fan, you might get a kick out of this. Second comment down on there is like, Raiden the bitch gets raped.
Oh, jeez. Lovely. Lovely.
He is such a douche. I fucking hate Raiden. He is such a douche. I love Metal Gear Solid 2. I really do.
Well, yeah, because you're going to play it on the Vita.
Absolutely. I just downloaded it. But
are you serious? Did you?
Yeah, I did. So I'm going to replay it again.
I was going to say that's right. That's right. You have Persona 4 Golden on freaking memory card, so your whole memory card isn't consumed by Persona 4 Golden like mine is.
I have
fucker.
I have P4 Golden on card, and my 4 gig. I actually went and bought it. I bought a 16 gig card because I just couldn't take it anymore.
Oh, you actually did? Nice.
Yeah. So my 16 gig card is full of anime, and my 4 gig card is going to hold my saves and MGS2 HD.
Cool.
So, yeah, but Raiden is such a bitch. I hate him. He is such a douche. Oh.
All right, the last thing we have in our stories, you have a call out to SFML.
Yeah, I was playing around with it. SFML is a multimedia development library written in C++. It seems kind of like a little bit of a fringe project, but there's a decent amount of traction there, and I've been playing around with it, and it actually seems really cool. I had made a little game earlier today with it.
Oh, cool.
it's stupid as fuck though. All you like, there's a sword there and it's overscaled in the camera, and all you do is click on it, and as you click on it, you get points, but it gradually gets smaller and smaller, and the smaller it gets, it gets harder to click on it. So you click on it, you get more points, and then eventually it just disappears into space, and the whole thing, your computer blows up. So it took me like 2 hours to make it because I was mostly unfamiliar with the framework.
Right.
A lot of the stuff I had to shim in. I did some animation, like some sprite animation demos, and collision detection's a little goofy. But it seems really good, and I'm going to try to do a couple more things with it. So, yeah, SFML guys, great job. I'd like to see more from it. So, yeah, if you're into game development and like using, fringe or indie libraries, SFML's out there. Check it out.
Cool. Check it out.
Yep, and it works great with Windows and Linux. Especially
Nice.
better with Linux. Especially better with Linux because Visual
Of course.
C++ is a bitch.
Of course.
Yep.
And you know what? You know what I kind of thought of when you said it makes your computer blow up?
What's that?
I was kind of looking at the desk next to me up here, which is my wife's desk, and I have her laptop sitting on there.
Were you running my game on that, Joe?
And her laptop is running,
Mm-hmm.
and I know the browser's still going, and I think that candy game we were playing last week is probably still counting up money for me in candies.
I saved
Probably for the past week.
Yeah, I let mine go. I saved and closed it out, dude. I think on Candies 1, I had like 32 billion lollipops.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, there's just no point anymore. I mean, it was turning into, let's just see how many lollipops I have so I can tell Joe I've got 32 billion lollipops.
What did you ever beat the dragon? Because I had beat the dragon.
I beat him, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I never made it through hell. I have not made it through hell yet. Hell was insane.
Nope. Well, it's hell, Joe.
I know it was.
Yeah.
So we are in the what I'm playing now part, but it was just kind of funny because when you had said your computer blows, I was just like looking over there. I'm like, you know what? I think that browser's still open even though the lid's closed.
Chrome's tanking.
I think I got the candy game still loading up. I'm gonna have to check that after the show to see what the hell's going on.
It's interesting. I did not give that URL to my buddy Tom. I remember you met him when we were doing Skype on the Vita.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told him I was going to give him the URL for that, and I never gave it to him. I need to send it to him now, so he gets that because he wanted to try it.
There you go. All right, so I will start talking about one of the things I was playing this week.
Well, these are yours anyway, so I've got the two of them on here are mine too.
A couple of them are yours because we could start off with Persona 4 Golden. I'm still playing that. I'm like level 25. I'm like level 25. Well, we might as well just get the biggest one out of the way. I'm level 25. I'm like through the third dungeon or so. I'm still having a blast with the game. That game is fucking awesome. I still love the music. My wife's getting pissed at me because I'm sitting around with my headphones on constantly, and I'm just like not paying a fucking attention to a word she's saying. She's like, "Will you get some goddamn headphones off? You're like a 14-year-old kid." I'm like, first of all, you bought me the Vita. I'm not putting the Vita down. Second of all, I got the headphones on so I can sit here and listen to the music and everything because there's a good story here in this game and I want to hear it.
Well,
so
you can apologize. I feel like I kind of introduced you to the Persona Beast, so you can apologize to Kim for me.
No, I probably would have played it because it's from reading the forums and everything. It seems like it's one of the better games that's out on the Vita. I haven't played a ton of games, but I can say it's definitely a great game.
Correction, Joe. It is the best game for the Vita.
Okay, it is the best game for the Vita.
Yes, it is.
So,
speaking of that, I have actually finished P4 Golden.
Fucking unbelievable.
I finished it in a week, dude.
Is that even right? I don't even think that's right. That's just ridiculous.
The interesting point about this, and this is a little backstory, Joe and I kind of had like a little competition going at first because he got P4 Golden before me.
I got it like 2 days before you, and I knew there was no way in hell I was going to keep up with you. So I just played it whenever.
Right.
But I can't believe you finished it already.
And
that's
then,
fucking insane.
What was it? The third day, we were like kind of checking up on it, and I was already just a hair ahead of you.
Yeah.
And then the next time I was like more than 75% done with the game.
Yeah, it was like you went from like level 16 to I'm in the 60s now. I was like, okay. Yeah, I'm like level 18, I think.
Yeah, so I finished the game. Yeah, I think I finished it at level 90. I had max traits like the knowledge, courage, diligence, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Everything was maxed out.
Here's a question for you, since you just mentioned those parts.
Yeah.
What sport did you join? Did you join a sport?
No.
You did not join a sport. I joined soccer. Did you join one of the other clubs?
Music.
You joined music?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about joining one of the other clubs, but then I was like, I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to do all this crap because I'm trying to do. I was doing the soccer club,
Mhm.
and then I got the side job of making envelopes right now
Right.
to start off with. So, did you do a job?
Yep. I did 3 of them actually.
Oh, you did. You actually progressed through them.
Yep. Yeah, some of them actually have slings to them. The daycare job has a slink to it. I think there's one other one that has a slink to it too. I can't remember which one.
So, the daycare job. When did you must have started that off later in the game then? Because
No,
don't you need a certain? Is that open right away?
It's one of the first ones that's open, but you need understanding and knowledge, I believe, a decent level.
I was gonna say I thought you needed the understanding, and that's what I don't think I've pumped up right yet.
Have you been reading books?
I've read 2 books so far. I read one book, and then I read one book that was at the bookstore, and then the second book I bought at the bookstore was actually to help me with my job of stuffing envelopes. Which basically almost gives you, it almost looks like it gives you, when you do the stuffing envelopes, it looks like it gives you a knowledge bump up twice instead of just once.
I think it's diligence for the envelopes ones.
No, maybe it is diligence. I don't know.
Yeah.
That stuff confuses me.
Read books, big time.
Okay.
There's multiple reasons. One, there's actually a trophy for reading all the books. 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm sure you got that.
No, actually not on the first playthrough. No, because
Okay.
I ran out of yen at the end of the game. But I think I'm 3 books shy of the trophy.
No, not so bad.
No, seriously, dude, read the books. There is also later in the game, like I would say halfway through the game, there's also a book that shows up that lets you read 2 chapters at once instead of just one.
Oh, that's fucking sweet.
Which makes it phenomenally easier to finish the list.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, because the first book I had, I think, was 2 chapters.
Uh-huh.
The book that helped me with the stuffing envelopes, I want to say that was 3 or 4 chapters.
Yeah, those 4 ones
I think it was 3. I think it was 3, but there's another book I could buy right now at the store. I think that's 4 chapters, because when I looked, I saw it was like, I think it was like 4 chapters. I was like, holy shit. Well, that's like 4 evenings worth of reading. I'm like, that's a lot of time to invest into that. So,
yeah, but definitely read the books, so they will increase your stats. Especially there are some too that will help you double or, excuse me, they will let you get double or triple the stat points you would get normally.
oh, cool.
So like there's a book that will let you increase your knowledge. Like it will double or triple your knowledge every time you study. So like if you go to your desk, sometimes you're guaranteed at least 2.
Okay.
But you can get 3 perks towards your stats for that. And you can only get those if you read certain books.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a way to do that. I maxed out 7 of the slinks. There's still got a couple more to go. And trying to think of what else I did. Chie was my girlfriend.
Really?
Yeah, I picked her for the first one.
See, now I was going to go for Yanako. Is that her name?
Yukiko?
Yukiko.
Yukiko? Yeah. I'm probably going to do her this time around.
Really?
Not literally. So no, I'm probably going to
Persona 4 Gold turned into an adult-only game.
I did not. Here's the interesting thing. Persona 4 comes, and this is, we've talked about this with P3P. Persona 4 also has the New Game Plus thing that I was telling you about.
Mm-hmm.
So some stats that you have in your playthrough will carry over into a new one. I was actually a little disappointed with what was available in P4 on a New Game Plus. Yeah. I will say this, though. What is there, I'm very pleased with that because it saves a lot of work. So, like I'll just give you a couple examples. Your personal stats carry over, so if you max out your knowledge, diligence, and all that stuff, that carries over. You don't have to do all that shit again.
Nice.
When you max out a slink, you get an item for maxing that out, so you don't have to. I mean, you have to redo the slink in the game over, but you already have the perk from maxing it out, so it doesn't matter, right? Any items that you get opened up in the shops will carry over into the new game. So let's say you go to the weapon shop and you have, these weapons that are massive damage, like they're near godlike weapons. They're expensive as hell, but you can get them right from the beginning of the game. You have that option to get them. So
when you're done with the dungeon and you go to the weapon guy, do you just give him all the stuff that you picked up from the dungeon? I've been, because they have that option on the top. They're just like, give him everything. So I'm like, okay, I haven't found or seen anything that shows up on that list that I need to keep. So I'm just like, give him everything, and I'm like, am I giving him everything, and am I going to give him something that I need to keep for later on in the game?
Later on in the game, there are a few, like, how you can get those quests from random NPCs. They have like the blue dots over the head.
I try to pick up a lot of those quests, and I've actually finished several of them so far.
Right. Later on in the game, there actually are a few of them that want materials. So you kind of need to watch what you get, but at that point in the game, you can farm the materials like a mother, so it doesn't matter.
Gotcha.
But you just need to keep an eye on that way. You're not just running in there draconianly saying, sell all. And I think the only other thing I need to do is work on the Persona Compendium and the skill cards. And then I should... Aside from beating the game on very hard, I should be pretty close to 100%ing the game.
Nice. So your second playthrough, are you playing through at the same level normal, or are you going to hard?
I went to hard. Yeah.
You did?
Yeah. Yep.
Cool.
Got to do a gradual up to it, because on very hard, if you get tanked once, it's done.
Right.
So yeah, I'm kind of. Yeah, I want to make sure I've got all the weapons and stuff that I can possibly get a hold of before I go ahead and commit to something like that.
Yeah, it almost sounds like it's kind of the same way they did Diablo 3, where, you have to play through all your, basically play through the first time, grind through it a little bit to get the better weapons, then play through it a second time before you go to the next level, until you're playing the game through the game like the fourth time, where I just stopped because it was just fucking I can't believe you fucking finished it. That's fucking crazy as far as I'm concerned. That's just insane.
The only other thing I want to say about P4 before that, so we don't, as if we already haven't, beat it into the ground. You and I both have been ranting and raving about the music in the game. Once you beat the game, there are other options that will open up in the TV listings. They add all the music that's available in the game. And they will also add some music videos that weren't available originally in the song battle.
Oh, nice.
Dude, so fucking good. So fucking good.
Oh, I can't wait. I got to finish it now, so I'm going to be working on it. I've been playing it. But see, I don't just play one thing like you. I get sidetracked. I'm ADD. Even with Persona 4 being as good as it is, I still, like, the next game I was going to talk about, Urban Trial Freestyle, was one of the free games for last week on the Vita. And it's basically just a stupid, silly little motorcycle physics-based game, like the Java games you play in your browser.
Oh, I saw that. I didn't download it.
Where, so I was like, PlayStation Plus, I was like, I deleted the COD, update for my system, so I had the 400 meg back to me. And that was only like 160, I think, so I was like, what the fuck, let me download it, let me play around with this. And I have all of the levels unlocked but the last one right now. I have my bike almost maxed out with everything other than the highest engine, suspension, and tires. The one night I was sitting there for probably 2 fucking hours doing this one level over and over again just to see if I can get a little bit further in my jump. And like every 10 minutes, I'd get maybe just a little bit further.
Oh, lost him.
Same thing over. Can you still hear me? All right, it looks like we might have lost Greg. Not too sure what happened. Hopefully he comes back. But like I've been saying, I've been playing Urban Trial Freestyle. Not a bad little game. It's kind of cool for free for PlayStation Plus. It was pretty good, so it was something I really couldn't pass up. I was actually playing a little earlier today after I got done with work, and it's just still something that I will go back to every now and then, and I just have not been able to. Oh, you're back.
Yeah, Frosty was knocking on the window.
I just decided
So
you
a
don't need
bitch
to be
was
on the internet right now.
so a bitch was hanging from the wires outside.
I was just continuing my conversation on Urban Trial Freestyle, saying that it was for a free game. I couldn't pass it up, and I just, for some reason, I like those stupid games, and I don't know why. I mean, those are the type of games you maybe just download on your phone or something like that. And those stupid physics-based games, I want to say I don't like them, but every time I see a new one and I try it, I just get sucked into it for hours for some stupid fucking reason, and I don't know why. So
I used to do that with what was it? Of course, you know this is going to be showing my age here.
oh yeah, let's do that.
I'm saying that relative to my generation.
Oh, okay.
Minitrix. If anybody remembers Minitrix.com, used to fucking play that pool game on there like a mother.
Oh, jeez.
We played it so much they had to ban it at our high school. And then and that's when we figured out how to backdoor and get around the firewall. So we're like, yes.
Gotta love when you can do that.
Oh yeah. That guy at that school didn't have a fucking clue what he was doing, man.
Don't you love it?
Yeah, a fucking clue.
You know more than the people that are supposed to know what they're doing.
And he even saw us doing it too, and he's just like, wow, okay, you guys can do that, whatever.
He's like, hey, you know what? If you guys do it that way, I'll give you that, because I didn't think of that.
Oh, good times, good times.
So one of the other things I started screwing around with that I had heard people talk about on the Vita before was this little thing called Wake Up Club. It is a stupid fucking little app. It's basically an alarm clock that has a game attached to it. That's all it is.
That sounds dumb.
That is all it fucking is. But you know what? I've been doing it for almost a week straight, and I've already got a couple of trophies from it.
That sounds worse than frickin' play that Welcome Park.
You know what? I went back to that Welcome Park, and I should have put that fucking on here. I went back to that the other day.
For fuck's sake.
I went back to that the other day, and I actually got trophies on several of the ones that I had troubles with before. I was flying on some of the things all of a sudden. I don't know if it's because maybe all of a sudden I understand how to touch my fucking Vita. I don't know what it is.
You played P4, you increased your knowledge.
I must have. That's exactly what it was. But Wake Up Club, it's an alarm clock. Is all it is. The alarm clock goes off. You basically have to grab your Vita, press it to tell the game, yeah, I'm awake now, because whoever gets it the fastest, you're playing against all these other people who are waking up on the same time as you, and you want to be the first one to press the button, so you're first. And then anybody who isn't basically pressing the button, you want to press them to cheer them on. And you get trophies for cheering. No, dude,
that's a horrible fucking game. That is such a dick move. Hurry and get up. What the? Oh. The fuck.
It was, dude. The one day I was sitting there and I woke up before my alarm, and I just sat there with my Vita in my hand, and I was like, "Come on, go off, you motherfucker, go off, go off! I want to be the first one." I actually got first place 2 or 3 days in a row, I think.
Who are you competing against to wake up, though?
Other people who had their times, their alarm clock set to that, who are on the PlayStation or on PSN.
Christ.
It's just fucked up, man. It's something so stupid.
Competitive waking up.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. You gotta try it.
Man, I'm going for 3 o'clock. I'm going for 3 a.m. next week, man. Yeah.
So it is crazy. The one thing I thought that was kind of neat about it, they have different skins you can put over the game. So like my alarm clock is one from Tokyo City is the game called. It's a game I was playing on the PS3 where you basically play as different animals and you try to survive. I think it's Tokyo City. I can't remember the name of the game now. It's been a while since I played it.
But with Cleveland Zoo.
No, I can guarantee it's not Don't Starve. No, it's not. It's not called Tokyo City because there is no game out there for that. I'll have to look up the game and see what it is, and I'll have to maybe write it down for next week.
Tokyo Extreme Racer was really good though. Dreamcast. There you go.
There we go. That's going old school. So one of the other things besides Wake Up Club, I picked up Papers, Please. I picked that up from Humble Bundle because they sell individual games now, and they had a good sale on it, so I picked it up from them. That game, I only have...
All for fun. Here we go.
Even though Steam says I have 154 hours in it because the game's paused and minimized right now, I do not have 154 hours in the fucking game and only one achievement unlocked.
How can you? Here's my question. How can you possibly? Let's look at this.
I don't turn off my computer.
Let me put this into perspective, okay? Persona 4 Golden is a far deeper game than Papers, Please, and somehow I beat it with 60-some hours, okay? Papers, Please is not as deep as Persona 4, yet you somehow managed to put 150-plus hours into the game.
I'm sorry. I want the achievement for it. I don't know.
Is there an achievement for 200 hours?
Maybe there's a Steam achievement for it. Who knows? I'll find out. I'm just going to let it run. Fuck it.
There's a Steam achievement. You're an idiot.
It's an interesting little game. It's kind of stressful, to be honest, when you're playing through the game. Because some of the decisions that you have to make, when you don't get enough people to go through the border gate, because basically you're playing a border guard. And you'll find out that people are going to come up to you, give you their credentials and everything, and you have to sit there and look at everything and compare it and figure out whether it looks legit or not and whether everything is correct and then whether you allow them through or not.
Okay.
And the more people you let through, the more money you make for the day. If you don't let enough people through, or if you don't process enough people, let's say, you don't make enough money, so maybe that means you can't afford rent. You can't afford food. You can't afford heat. If you can't afford some of those things, your family might get sick. You then need to afford medicine.
Oh, I get. So it's a psychological thing.
I'm telling you, it's messed up. Some of the decisions you have to make.
Did you let baby smugglers through, Joe?
No, I didn't. But I'm to a point where I can let these people that gave me some good amount of money through, but then the government came through and saw that I got this extreme amount of money and moved to a good house, and they were like, with your job you cannot do that, and they confiscated my bank and everything like that. So it's really fucked up. You got to play it. I don't want to go too much into it because I know you haven't played it yet, and I know you just picked it up too. But it's interesting. I've played it maybe for about an hour or two, and my first playthrough, I think I died like instantly because dumbass me was unchecking stuff when you should be leaving it checked, and like my family got sick and everybody just died. And I'm like,
how did you get killed? Did somebody like shoot you through the booth?
Stupid. I was just being stupid. I wasn't paying attention. So
you were letting everybody into Moldova for free.
My second playthrough was definitely going much better. It saves at the end of each day, so if you do mess up on a day, you can go back and restart from there and continue on. But you definitely got to give it a shot. And I'm telling you, it's each day that you come back to work, they add one more dimension to the game. Another piece that you have to look for, something else that you have to look at, and it just you just start to get frazzled because you're having to look at so many different things to see whether this person is legitimate or not, whether you really want to let them through, or whether you're going to get dinged because if you let somebody through that you shouldn't have, it actually does a report, and if you get reported for a couple of times in a day, you then start getting money deducted from your account. From what you make for the day. So it's kind of like a fucking job. It's actually worse than a job. It's a job I wouldn't want.
I hate my job enough as it is. I don't want another job I hate.
and that's what you have with this game. It's a job. It's a job you will hate, and it's a job you don't want. But it's just intriguing, and it will bring you back to it.
No, see, I can make the separation. This is a game. This is not my job. I'll probably hate it though.
Yeah.
But
you got to give it a shot. If you hate it,
oh,
you hate
I will,
it. No
absolutely.
Big deal.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot this week.
So, one of the other things I wanted to mention to you when I had just looked at my 154 hours played in Papers, Please, I actually made money on Steam this week.
Ooh, Joe the Profiteer.
So, I have 32 cents in my wallet.
Wow, Grandpa Moneybags over here.
On my way to the east side, going up, baby.
They're going up and get tossed off the roof.
So, if you were paying attention to the Steam sale, you can vote on daily deals on some of the games, and if you're like level 5 in Steam and you vote on like three of those deals that were coming out every 4 or 8 hours or something, you would get a snow globe. So I had several snow globes. I didn't collect them all, but I had some duplicates. So I threw them up on sale and actually I think I sold 2 of them for 16 cents a piece. So some of these other cards I have, I may start putting up on there and seeing. I'm never going to collect the cards. So I might as well just sell them and get any sort of money that I can and then just put it towards games. The more games you play, the more cards you get, the more money you can make, the more games you can buy.
See, Joe, they've already got you.
They don't have me because I'm not buying the cards. They would have me if I was the one that was actually buying the cards, trying to complete out my collections.
So
because
in other words, in other words, you're turning into a card mercenary.
Basically, yeah. I'm a card shark.
Card shark. I'm not gonna be your fucking runner, man. I'm not gonna be your runner.
Well, I don't know if you've ever paid much attention to the cards, but if you actually collect so many cards or complete a set, you can actually craft stuff with the cards you collected. You can craft different like items and stuff, I think it is, or different cards, or I don't know what the hell.
Can I have somebody send me a cake? That's all I care about. Nice carrot cake. That's all I want.
But I just wanted to let you know that I actually made money on Steam, and I'm at 32 cents now. I don't need. Do I need to claim that on taxes? 32 cents. I think anything under $1, you don't have to. So I thought
it was under 400.
It could be.
That's under 400, dude. I think you're good. Unless you start, Card Shark and Steam.
Unless if I really start getting cards or making some money, which most of them are selling for nickels and everything. The snow globes, I think, were just selling for a little bit more because they were so new. But I was just stoked. I was gonna text you the first day I sold something because I got an email. It was like, you just sold an item on Steam. I'm like, huh? I was like, oh shit! I sold a globe. I was like, hell yeah! I sold a fucking globe.
That's like that one idiot moment when you first figure out, like.
I saw the email come through and I was like, what the hell is this? And I'm like, I fucking sold it. I was like, hell yeah!
You feel like a pioneer in Steam, like, I claim this land for Joe.
Oh man, it was fucking crazy. So last thing we have on here, I think we already talked some about P3P. You want to talk? Do you want to talk about anything about Persona 3?
I'm going back and finish because I was an idiot and I was about 75% through P3P, and then got my Vita and P4, and I kind of was just like, yep, PSP goes over there.
You were like, PSP,
yep,
out the window.
Yeah, exactly. So now that I'm taking a little bit more of a relaxed approach to P4, I'm still by far not done with it, but figured I'd go back and finish P3P. And I have to tell you, holding my PSP now is really awkward.
I haven't used mine, but I can see that because
it's really fucking awkward.
The Vita is just so light, and I just love the feel of it. Just the way it fits in your hand, just the two nub sticks and everything, and just the way it's laid out. Just the weight of it. Just the weight alone. Which
I showed you earlier, and I'll show everybody else too. I actually got these little nub attachments for my Vita. They're little caps that actually invert the thumbsticks. So instead of being rounded on top, now they're concave. So they go, that way. Makes it so much easier to play, dude. And I want to ask you something. Do you have the 2000 series the Vita, or do you have the 1001?
1001. I don't think the 2000 series is out yet. I don't think it's coming out. If it's out, it might only be out in Japan.
Yeah, I was just saying
because I see coming out in the U.S.
Right, because I was looking at the tech specs for it. They removed the OLED screen and just went back to LED.
And that was one of the first things I looked at when my wife got it for me. I flipped it around and I saw it was the first generation, and I was like, cool, because that's what I want.
Yeah, dude. All I've been seeing is it's been giving it like an hour plus, like an hour and a half extra battery life. I want my OLED screen. That thing's fucking gorgeous.
And you know what? That's exactly why I wanted the OLED screen as well, because I saw when that was first announced a while ago. I can't remember when they announced it. I saw screenshots of the OLED screen next to the LCD screen, and the LCD just looked a little washed out, didn't look as bright, didn't look as vibrant, the colors didn't look as good, and I was like, ooh, if I ever get a Vita, I want to try to get a first-gen one.
That was the other thing I was going to say, too, was actually now that I've jumped back to my PSP, it's a lot harder for me to stay focused on that screen because I'm so used to looking at the OLED and everything just jumping out at me.
Yes, oh yeah.
And this one, I mean, the screen is just so washed, and I'm not saying it's going to be harder to play because I did the Vita and now I'm going back to the PSP. It's just a very awkward experience now.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah, I think the difference between the 1000 and the 2000 series was, like you said, you get like an hour battery life, LCD screen. I think it's a little lighter, which to me the Vita is fucking so light. As compared to the PSP, because it doesn't have the whole drive mechanism and everything.
It's heavier than the PSP.
It's heavier than the PSP? I thought it was lighter than the PSP. I'm gonna have to pull out my PSP now and see.
No, it definitely feels heavier.
And I think on the 2000 you get a gig of RAM built in.
Yeah, I think you do too.
So, which is nice, but a gig, that's going to be for saved games. You're not going to be fucking downloading anything to that thing, so whoop-de-doo. Give me the 64 gig fucking memory card over here in the US already, and let me get one of them motherfuckers.
So, here's the other thing, too. I went on the accessory ordering spree for my Vita last Friday, I think it was. I got those nubs. I got a USB cable coming, and I have a brushed aluminum case coming for the Vita as well.
Nice.
And it's black. Yeah. It's black.
I got. My wife got me the normal PS Vita case. That's like faux leather, I'm sure, and inside it has like a little flap where you can put like different memory cards, which I have COD in there right now. And this is real nice because it's, it's kind of, it's not just flimsy or anything. It's not, you can actually drop something on this or something, and it'll actually protect the Vita. So I was really stoked when I opened that up and I saw that. Actually, when I opened up my Christmas box, that was the first thing I saw was the case, and I was like, oh my gosh, she got me a fucking Vita, unbelievable.
Yeah, this one's actually it's not a case like that. It's actually a cover. It will sit over top of all this, and then it actually has an opening for the touch on the back and the camera. So it's like a sleeve for the Vita.
See, now I had something like that. I had the Logitech Clear case, clamshell case for the PSP. Which you can open up and then play the PSP in the case and everything and then just close it.
Right.
And it was like a hard plastic case. I had bought one of those early on because I just wanted something to protect it.
I had something like that for my GBA. I remember because I got the GBA on launch day, the original one, and I got the Indigo one, which was see-through. And when I got that, there was a Mad Catz case.
Yeah.
That wrapped around it, and it was something like that. It made it feel a little bit more bulkier than what it was. And if you remember, the original GBA did not have a backlight, so that made it even worse when you had to tilt down it, So, but yeah, I'm really stoked to get the USB cable because I want to try these sync tools on the Vita and see if you can back your shit up without screwing things up, like you do with the PSP. It gives you. Here's the thing. It gives you if you go to the content management app on the Vita, it gives you the option to sync to your PC via USB connection, and it will dump your whatever's on your card at the time. It will sync with the PC, but I'm not sure what that means yet. So
that'd be interesting to see. I wonder if I can dump my stuff out to the PS4.
You can do if you have PlayStation Plus, you can do Cloud Sync.
I got PlayStation Plus, so I'm sure I'm doing the cloud sync. I do that on I do that on most games.
Right, but it's a simple thing. You want that content local, so you don't have to download it every time you want it. That's what I think we mentioned that before. I tried to do that before, and it actually violates their TOS. I don't know if they changed that yet, but that fucking sucks. Fucking sucks.
All right. Do we have anything else that we want to talk about for what we're playing now? I think we pretty much hit everything.
I've been playing that thing for a while now. I'm trying to learn some of the P4 songs. I learned 2 of them.
Are you serious?
I'm pretty
awesome.
sure. I'm pretty sure I got 2 of them down. What is it? Run to the Beach and what the fuck was the other one? There was another one that I'm trying to figure out too. But yeah, that Run to the Beach one's fucking awesome, dude. I love it.
Yeah,
I was just
all
playing
the music on there is great.
I was just playing it earlier today, actually.
All right, our last part of the show is what we want to play. I want to play some more Papers, Please, so I can actually make close to my 154 hours. Oops, I just hit the game up there. That's what that music was. I hit the game instead of Steam. I want to see go to 155 hours. I want to also try Monaco that I picked up. That just looks like a little funky type of game that I picked up. I think that one was pretty inexpensive on Steam. I've heard some things about it, so I wanted to try it. I think it's a good multiplayer, so we may have to try that one together.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it either. So I'm definitely wanting to spend a little time with that one. So I am going to do those 2, Monaco and Papers, Please, this week.
I need to sometime find the time to play Gone Home, because we still have not been able to talk about that yet, and I know you're going to. Yeah, I know. I haven't. Dude. I will do it this week. I promise. I will do it this week. I promise. You didn't even think about it until I fucking told you. Chill.
I told you. 2 hours. That's all you needed. Just make some coffee. In 2 hours, you're set, man.
All right. Okay.
You will walk away. Okay. You will walk away with this. You walk away from Gone Home. You will go home, and your life will have changed, man.
Okay. I will change my life this week.
You better.
I will.
Because shit's gonna happen.
All right. All right. Well, I think we're at the end of an episode.
That's me getting aggressive.
We are pretty much just spot on. Just over an hour, like always. We are, for some reason,
like
we're
a
just
clock,
spot
baby.
on with that. Yep,
like
it is. Clock.
That's because we're that fucking good.
All right, people can find us at whatimplayingnow.com. Send us some email, whatimplayingnow@gmail.com. Hit us up on Twitter and follow us, whatimplayingnow. And check out our Facebook page, which I'll still need to work on all this stuff too. So I got so much stuff to do this week, it's just not even funny.
I fucking hate my job, man. I hate my job so bad. If I could just go back to being indie, I would. I really would. And then I have more time to do stuff like this.
There you go.
Which I love doing, because I can't think of any better way to spend my weekend than playing, Persona 4 and hanging up the phone when some asshole calls. Because, I took the day off and people still call me.
That sucks. You weren't playing sick good enough.
I was supposed to have Friday off, man. Oh my god, dude. So I need to tell you this off the air. It's just way too long. I'm gonna drag this out because I would tell it on here, but dude, it's gonna turn into another hour conversation.
All right. Well, we're gonna end the podcast here. Everybody, follow us. Hit the website up and let us know what you're playing now. We'll be back next week for another episode. Have a good one.
Peace.